Well, this is another show of Afrikanwatch Network, our regular weekly digest. And today with us, we are having one of our prominent special guests. Not just a guest, but also part and parcel of Afrikanwatch Network. I'm talking about Mr. Ejiofor, the former public relation officer, former head public relation officer of Yaba College of Technology, and also the deputy registrar of Yaba College of Technology, now the head of unit junior staff personnel of the same college. Mr. Ejiofor, it's nice to have you with us on this show.
Thank you, Mark. It's always great to be here.
Thank you. And we have Chidera Ike, the head of news of Afrikanwatch Network, who has been the regular anchor of this program, but today I'm in charge. Okay, Chidera, what do you have to say to Mr. Ejiofor first before we kick off on the team?
I just want to tell you, thank you for honoring this invite. We know it's on short notice and you made yourself available. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chidera. It's a privilege sitting close to a beautiful lady.
Okay, we will be talking about the loss of societal values. Mere looking at the system we operate in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, all over the world. It seems the society has gone the other way around. So we are just going to digest this a little bit for just 30 minutes program. And like I said, Mr. Ejiofor, who is not only a public strategist, but also a very good communicator. So, Mr. Ejiofor, let's begin this way. The loss of societal values. Where did we get it wrong?
Well, we got it wrong right from the beginning. They have immediately after the Civil War, Nigeria used to be a very lovable country, a country where everybody would like to live. I recall in those days my father used to tell me that Nigeria was such a fertile land, beautiful land, that even the king of Saudi would come to Ibadan for medical tourism when that was in the glory days of Nigeria. But today we've lost everything because of bad governance, bad leadership, and even bad fellowship. But before I start, I think, what are societal values? But societal values are a set of principles that guard the moral standard of every society. And if societal values are eroded, then it means that society may go into comatose. We have, when you begin to see people not saying the truth, when they see black, they call it white. You have a situation where people started losing respect for the elders. Corruption becomes the center stage of our existence. These are societal values that have been eroded. How do we get them back? It needs a collective will of everybody, including the government, setting the standard and making sure that our educational system are in good order. Once all these things are put in place, then our way to recovery might just be starting.
Yeah, sorry, please. I would like to put in here. You mentioned something about losing respect for elders. In a case where elders, we've seen a lot of elders themselves that do not showcase that aura of an elderly person. Like you see elders misbehaving. How do you expect the younger ones to respect those kind of elders? And what would you say about it?
We are Africans. And by African standard, we are told that we should respect our elders, no matter what they do. We are not Europeans where they call their parents by their first name, or where they can even sue their parent. Yes, Westernization and modernization is turning in, but we just need to maintain that African standard, no matter what, no matter the kind of provocation from the elders. The right thing to do is to respect them, at least openly. You cannot go inside and see how you can tidy up whatever rot that's outside. But for you to disobey them out, openly, it's a loss of moral standard, a moral value.
No, but sir, if we are to look at it in a very diverse perspective, the loss of societal values, like some analysts will say, probably from the home training and the background, because at first it is from the home training that the child will begin to understand that, oh, this is my elder, this is who I should respect, and so on. But in a situation where from the beginning is faulty, or the beginnings are fault, you have fault, how do we begin to trace back, to bring that value to that lost child who begins to disrespect his elders and begin to do things the other way around?
Well, you see, no parent will bear a child and not train that child. Well, the training might not be perfect, but no parent will bear a child and then begin to teach the child how to disrespect others. The child may learn it from so many things. It could be from peer group. It could be from what he watches on the TV. And now, the world is a global village. By a click, you know what is happening. You can know what is happening in other countries. I won't advocate that we should ban internet activities or we should ban this. No, I won't advocate that. But we should just have to start teaching. Even when China was very closed in the sense that they closed down their borders to Western influence, it didn't help them. They have opened up their borders and people are beginning to, what hitherto they were not enjoying, they are beginning to enjoy it. But it still did not allow them to lose sight of the moral value that is embedded in Chinese society. In the case of Nigeria and most African countries, it's like we swallow everything 100% without sipping out the goods, and the good from the bad. We just swallow the bad, and that is why we are the way we are. You can't see people going to take their life before in African society. It's very, very difficult because their life is considered to be precious. But nowadays, suicide is the order of the day. Somebody who feels that he's dissatisfied with life can just go put a gun on his head and then, or go and commit a suicide. Education is one way we can begin to retrace and
is education giving us the kind of value we need?
Well, that is, I know. I said we try and swallow things from the Western influence 100%. We should be able to design our own education to fit into the African value system. Let it fit in. Other countries have done that. China has done that. The Japanese have done that. America is not it cannot be said to be more developed than the Japanese. But everything the Japanese will not allow the American influence to dominate them. We can also do that.
But China has traditional education that has helped, the elementary system. But we don't have that here.
Can't we do that? We can. We can. When I started, I said with our moral societal values started eroding immediately after the Civil War. After the Civil War, it was like Nigeria became open. There were a lot of influx of arms into the country. Begging was somehow restricted to a part of the country. But suddenly, and when I'm even restricted, it was not as glamorous as it is now. Because I'm using the word glamorous because But now, after the Civil War, people trooped down to Lagos, which was like an epicenter, and it became the order of the day. In the East, after the Civil War, they only came out. Some of them came out with just £2, £20, and in order to fit in, some of them also went begging. Some of them took to armed robbery. That's why I see you see people going to robbery. Let me shock you a little, Mark. I don't know if you know about this man Oyenusi. Oyenusi was a kingpin armed robber in the 70s.
Oh yes. I think I've come across the name.
In fact, I was reading through the archive, and I saw that the reason why they killed Oyenusi was that he stole, was it 5,000 naira?
But at that time, that
it was yes.
Yes, it should be very big
money.
Yeah.
That's why he got killed. But nowadays, people will. Even pen robbery is even more lucrative than armed robbery. You can go to the bank. With your gun, and shoot your way and steal maybe 100,000 naira. But with your pen, you can steal millions of naira. So we need to really, like I said, we need to start retracing our steps and try redesigning our curriculum, our education to fit the African perspective, so that we can begin to get back or win back some of these moral values that have been eroded.
You said something about suicide, people committing suicide. Don't you, how do I put it? Don't you think that is a part of mental illness? Or because for someone to decide that he wants to commit suicide, that he wants to take his own life, shoot himself, it's a part of depression.
Yeah.
How do you think that can be tackled? How do you think depression can be tackled?
Depression is not just a sickness that's come. Something must have led to depression. A man who is hungry or who decides to lose his job or who does not have job might go into thinking, and from thinking, depression sets in. So the only way we can try and mellow down on people not catching that depression cruise is for government to also go into advocacy. We need to begin to enlighten the people on the side effect of depression. Nobody wants to witness depression. I have seen it. It's not palatable at all. So through advocacy, and I'm sure there are a lot of NGOs in the countries doing that, and then we can.
Some companies are speaking
Yes,
to
yes,
their staff,
yeah.
therapies.
Yes. So
Okay, let me. I think I'm very much concerned about this area because we are talking about loss of societal values.
yeah.
I don't know what they call it now, but what I know is, some ladies, what they call hookup,
Okay.
because of the economic hardship. So many young girls, even young guys, in the area of the guys, we already know what the society they belong to.
But some guys do
What?
hook up
No,
too.
I'm not.
Some
That's what I'm
guys
trying
do
to generalize.
Okay,
You want to tackle it?
Yes. It should not be based on only the female. It should also be men.
No, I'm not. No. That is how I'm generalizing the question.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I said in the other way around they call it hookup.
Hook up.
But the guys, some of them, they go into Yahoo. Yes, I think it was our producer that was telling us that we now have modern association of Yahoo. So you can see the contention that But the issue here is this: how did we get to this level where could it be government? Of course, people will say government has failed on its own part. Families has failed on its own part, and then the more you keep talking about it, the more that societal evil is increasing.
Okay.
Rather than decreasing, is increasing. So how do we cope this kind of situation, especially in the area of family angle? Not even government, because government has failed in so many angles.
You see, you said hookup. That's I mean you are just modernizing that name, prostitution.
It has been modernized.
It has been modernized.
Prostitution didn't just start today.
Now it's not even called sexual work.
Okay, it's
Sexual
something.
workers.
It's something that date back to time. Even in the Bible, we have it, so we cannot say it's a new thing, but it is part of. I mean, it is how do I put it? It is an ill that should not be encouraged. And how do we tackle it? First and foremost, how did it come about? These girls didn't just wake up in the morning and say, I want to become a hookup. Something must have. Some of them decide to go into hookup because they want to feed. Some of them probably they don't even have parents who cater for them and they want to survive.
And some might even have parents, but they are the head of the family.
The head of the family, you know.
No, but that shouldn't even be an issue to even discuss.
Yes.
Maybe you are the head of the family. And then you don't have a means of livelihood, and then you have to go into such. I don't think
Mr.
it's
Mama,
not
I want to come in
No.
here. I want to come in here. Sorry, please. I want to come in here.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
don't just put the blame on the female child. We put it on those men that have subjected themselves to accept female girls. If there is nobody patronizing those girls, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't. But there are people patronizing them. That is why the culture of hookup still keeps growing.
But is that that is why I'm asking Mr. Ejiofor that should that be a reason for somebody to go, just like somebody's committing a sin and going to God to beg for forgiveness and telling God the reason why you committed such a sin? That is the area I want you to look at it.
Yeah.
That irrespective of circumstances, should we go into crime? That's the summary of the whole thing.
Yes, irrespective of circumstances, you shouldn't go into hookup. But like again, I said, the people who venture into it, some of them do it unwillingly. It's not as if they want to, but the circumstances of where they find themselves has pushed them into. I'm not in support of this thing. But if you want to look at it, it all boils down to lack of good governance. If we have a governance who cares, who take charge of its responsibility, who provide for the people the way it should, then there won't be need for people going into hookup. And even if they decide to go into hookup, it's going to be very, very minimal.
Not as glamorous.
The Scandinavian countries, Denmark, is the kind of country people use as a benchmark to evaluate countries that are running good governance. But you also be surprised that by the time you get there, you also see some small hookup, but it's not as loud as what we have here. So if government decide to prepare and do what it ought to do by providing good governance, providing the essentials to the people, nobody will want to go into hookup. But that's not saying that the family does not have a role to play. If you have a family, you should be able to talk and educate your words and tell them about the negative aspect of going to such illicit acts. These are the things. We can bring it down to the barest minimum. We can reduce it, but we may not completely erode them.
Sorry, sir. When you say family, I've seen some instances where the mothers of a female child will push that child to do hookup. What do you say about that?
Yes, there are some instances, but I think they are just very minimal.
No. I think sir, to add to what she said, because it's not because if she had said where the mother, maybe when the child brings what is not supposed to bring to the mother, and then because of the enjoyment there, the mother doesn't even bother to ask, please continue. It seems this your work is bringing succor. Please continue.
No, that is not it. I know of a mother that actually tells her daughter, this man is not good for you. You have to follow another person. I know. It's something I know. That is why I said
yes.
You can't. She knows this is what her daughter is doing. She will make decision for her daughter.
You can't rule that out.
Yes.
There are, but that is not to say that because just one or two person does that, it is what everybody does. I also know of some mothers that will, when the child will come and bring something, that mommy, see what I brought home, see what the man gave me, say please take it back. We cannot also use that to judge that every mother does that. So it's, I mean, it boils down to the home. Train your child the way you want your child to be.
Well, you are listening to African Watch TV, and we are discussing on this issue, the loss of societal values. And here we are, here with us is our dynamic Mr. Ejiofor, who is also a contributing editor to Afrikanwatch and also a very good commentator. Most of his work are online, writing on societal values and others. So having him with us today is just to expound, what most of us have heard before, and so that we can make our amend. So, Mr. Joe, before we round off this section, I want you to talk about, talk about entrepreneurship, because the area where people are, government cannot provide everything for everybody. So, in the area of entrepreneurship, what can people who are in such situation, they're in a very difficult situation. The economy is tough. What at this stage, what do you have to tell them in the area of building capacity for themselves?
Well, entrepreneurship is now the key. If you want to survive in the present Nigerian economy, then you must be able to do something with your hand. You must also be able to do something with your head. If you can utilize your hand and head very well, then I can assure you, you are going to survive in this economy, which a lot of people have tagged bloody. And that's why I'm so happy that most schools, I don't know if all, but I know most schools are now beginning to bring in entrepreneurs, add entrepreneurs to their curriculum, so that the teachers, the students after graduation will become job creators instead of job seekers. And that is the way to go. Entrepreneurship is the way to go. If you are not into it, then you should start something. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to school to go and learn it. There are a lot of people outside, skill acquisition centers, that are training people in the area of barbing, the area of tailoring, or what they call fashion design, not tailor, fashion design, and so many of that in paint making. There's a lot.
Bead making.
Yeah, so many. So video editing and so many. So photography. So you just have to get yourself acquainted with the skill, and if you can do that, then you can survive. I remember somebody who I went to school with, and then immediately finished school, a lot of us were struggling to get admission into university. He went and started learning plumbing, and we were just laughing at him. But somehow, before we finished school, this guy relocated to London. As we speak, he's a big-time plumber, and he has made it. He made it with his hand, and right in the process, he also decided to, increase his knowledge by going to school. So, if you want to survive in the current Nigerian economy, you just have to arm yourself with a skill that can transform your life for the benefit of yourself and your family.
Well, finally, I don't know if I have any other before.
No, I think he has answered everything.
Okay, finally, before we let you go,
all right.
We're just passing through Yavatech. We saw the whole place is renovated, and the buildings are looking very great. And I was saying, as Mr. Ejiofor's Yava the Great, our alumni is looking so nice. I think could it be that something good is coming up?
Well, it's a higher institution, and the students are resuming. And if that is what is normally obtained every year. Once the students coming in now, they need to put some repairs in place and rehabilitate some of the classrooms that are, to make it fit in to accommodate incoming student, I mean, the college has always been there trying to upgrade herself and to become a college of first choice. So I'm not surprised of what you saw. It has always been like that.
Okay, this is where we draw the curtain of today's show. You've been watching and listening to Afrikanwatch Weekly Digest, and a program where we discuss about societal issues. Sometimes we talk about government, sometimes we talk about election. You know, the last time we were talking about technology, where
Yes.
Mr. Innocent had to give us details on some of the cyber securities and all that. So we want you to continue to subscribe to our YouTube channels, and then you get very good tips that can be of help to you. Once again, thank you for listening. God bless you.
And tune into our next episode.
Yes.